Hello and welcome to Cetacean Being. Today I want to talk about the impact astrology or um, tarot readings can have on one's ability to kind of press that restart button to have a new beginning. I love astrology. I've studied astrology myself. I'm really spiritual and I believe in God, but I also believe in angels, archangels, and do a lot of meditation. I've had various readings over the years, not just tarot readings, but also astrology readings, and I've had Vedic astrology readings. I've had Western, the tropical and sidereal, um, the ancient ones and the most modern ones. So I've had a variety of astrological readings. Um, what I found is that whilst they were the readings were quite different I've had it from top readers. I literally I never paid less than $250 for the readings I've had, and so they are expensive. But looking back, if I'd known what I know today, I wouldn't have done it. And this is because now, with the knowledge that I have today about astrology and the way tarot cards work, I know there's a higher power at work. And what that means is that while some events are predictable, and when I talk about astrology, I'm talking about a predictive astrology, because I definitely believe that astrology can be used as an advice tool where you can look at perhaps karmic patterns that can help you overcome certain habits or behavior patterns, or even understand them so you come to terms with it, and it has a huge impact on how you deal with things in your life. So you bring it into your conscious mind, if you wish, and then it makes a huge difference. However, what happens is that when you go to tarot reading, for example, what the tarot reader does is she gets connected to your higher self, and so that connection is what allows her to predict certain events in your life, and most of those predictions are in fact very accurate. But actually, if we talk about the past, if you go to a tarot reader and they actually are spot on what's happened in the past and what's happening in your present, then you're very likely to believe what she or he tells you that will happen in the future. However, what they're doing is they're not predicting the future per se, they're connecting to your higher self. Therefore, tarot reading, again, is a divination tool, but it should be used as advice on patterns or things that we have to watch in terms of our own behavior, our own thoughts, our own fears, because no one can connect as well to our higher self than ourselves. And when we become conscious of that through meditation and various practices, and some people pray, others meditate, others just do mantras, and so whatever makes you feel very relaxed, in a deep state of relaxation, where you feel that you're fluid, and you'll find that the more you do it, the more your mind becomes clear and you have the answers. If you happen to go to a tarot reader or astrology, and they tell you that, oh, this is going to happen in a few years, One of the things that can happen is that you can then activate the self-fulfilling prophecy, which is actually something studied within psychology, is when you believe that you are something or that you will do something, you will actually take the measures and the actions to do it. Therefore, if that prediction is negative, you may actually self-sabotage to 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 come to that conclusion because you settle for that. Oh, this is what's going to happen. You accept it before it even happens. Very few of us may actually have this, nature where we perhaps a bit more defiant and we say, no, that's not going to happen to me, and try our best to make sure it doesn't happen. But most of the times, the latter doesn't really take place. With astrology, and I know that many astrologers say that because the events are predestined, so there are things that you have to go through your life, and there are things that you're going to be learning through. We're going to be learning through our lives, and now the way we learn them may differ from what an astrologer says. Astrologers are just like human beings with an array of knowledge, perhaps, and an intuitive mind, and perhaps some of them may be psychic as well, um, and they can pick up on energies and read the meanings of different houses and different planets and their positions and so on. But what happens is that one may be having an action that is very unlikely, because astrology is about something that is very likely and something that is very unlikely. But under the right influence, and I would like to say with God's grace, say if you're connected to your higher self, you may make a very unlike decision. So decision that you normally would make, and the outcome of that decision may actually changed your entire life, because on that day there was a particular, opposition or trine or conjunction, or with certain planets. They may be your rulers and may impact and change completely the course of your destiny. So when you base yourselves on those two things in order to make decisions, and I know it is becoming so popular, and I mean, I've grown up with it. My mom is a tarot reading. She's very much into astrology. She's a quantic therapist, and she's a psychologist herself too, and and it's becoming increasingly popular because people are finding that the traditional ways are not working, or they want answers, and they want things to happen quickly, and they want to know and have a sense of control, but that's an ego trap. A sense of control is a trap of the ego, because when we learn to release and say it's okay and have faith, put action, because faith and fear struggle to coexist, and the need to control only exists when there's great fear. So when we understand actually the events that happen in our lives, many of them we have power over it, because if I want to have a job promotion, what I have to do is perhaps work a bit harder. And I know with the law of attraction they say that, oh, you manifest. Yes, you manifest, but there needs to be some action. So and manifestation itself is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we need to be aware is that if you look for an astrologer or a tarot reader, it's better to have one that focuses on advice, on perhaps blockages or things that are not going so well in our lives, than those that are predictive and very factual, that would say this would happen, which may come true, may not come true, but if you bear in mind that actually you are destined to learn certain things in your life, whether you learn them through your intimate relationships or through work relationships or through health issues or anything else, that it depends on the course of our lives. We're all different. I just thought to share with you this because I've realised there's been astrology and tarot cards and divination are extremely becoming really, really popular. And I think lots of people, especially at these times, they're so hard, and with lockdown, people having reduced income and so on, and people they just want to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they resort to paying lots of money for these services. Some of them may not even be, may not even be 100% legit. Others may be really, really legit, but again, when you connect to your higher self, you know the answers. You know what you have to do. You do it in a very, it flows. Things are done very, they flow. Everything flows in your life when you are connected to your higher self. I recall when I first separated from my children's father. It was really hard, because I separated during whilst I was pregnant with my son, and I remember it was so hard that I used to watch tarot readings, and then I felt even worse. I now understand why. It's because I've got my moon in the 12th house, and I also have Neptune in the 8th house, so I'm highly empathic, and over the course of the years I've come to understand why I'm empathic and what I can do to protect my energy, and also to help people heal. I guess I could talk about astrology and tarot reading and why I don't advise predictive readings for a very long time. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, and I'll get back to you and I'll reply to you. Any questions you may have about astrology or the different types of astrology or tarot reading, but my advice is not to do it. Don't do it. Also with tarot reading, we're talking about energies, and if you don't know the reader very well, I would strongly not advise you to open yourself to reading by any tarot reader. That's it for today, and thank you very much for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.